Today's lesson 2.1, the Pythagorean Theorem, is found on page 24 in your workbook. You learned about the Pythagorean Theorem in grade 9, and you may remember that we can use this rule to solve for missing sides found in a right triangle. Let's take a look at this diagram. The longest side of a right triangle can be found right across from the right angle, and is called the hypotenuse, labeled C in this diagram. The two shortest sides are called the legs, and they are A and B in this diagram. The actual relationship between A, B, and C is that the square of C is equal to A squared plus B squared. You may have to pay attention to the fact that the isolated side C squared is the hypotenuse. And sometimes when you're solving a question, your hypotenuse may not be labeled C. It could be any other variables, so you have to pay close attention to that. Let's scroll down and take a look at the examples on this page. Example 1. Find the length of the hypotenuse to the nearest tenth of a unit. So first thing, when you look at the diagram, you will have to find and locate the hypotenuse. In this case, look for the right angle, go across, and side x is the hypotenuse. Therefore, 15 and 25 meters are the legs of this triangle. Knowing that the hypotenuse squared is equals to a squared plus b squared, we can use x squared equals 15 squared plus 25 squared will be the formula to use in this case. Let's simplify this and try to find the value of x. So continuing, we may use your calculator to work out 15 squared, which will be 225, and 25 squared, which is 625. Continue to simplify. Add 225 to 625, and you will get 850. In order to get to your final step and look for the value of x, what you will need to do is to square root both sides of the equation. So locate the square root symbol on your calculator and take the square root of 850. It will be approximately 29.2 meters. Since this is a rounded answer, make sure you use a dotted equal sign. So now we have found that the hypotenuse of this triangle is approximately 29.2 meters. Let's take a look at example 2. Again, find the length of the indicated side, which is x, to the nearest tenth of a meter. Notice in this right angle triangle, here's your right angle, and across from it, the 25 meters is the hypotenuse. Therefore, when you set up your Pythagorean Theorem statement as a formula, you will be using 25 squared as your c squared. And the right side of the equation reads x squared plus 15 squared. You may choose to simplify these numbers before you rearrange the equation to solve for x. So 25 squared is 625, x squared is unchanged, plus 15 squared is 225. You know that when we solve this equation, we need to isolate x squared by subtracting 225 on the right side. Once I do that, it also means that I need to subtract 225 from the left side of this equation. Now let's carry on. 625 minus 225 is 400, and this is equal to x squared. Once again, to get your final answer of x squared, you need to square root both sides of the equation. And you can change your unknown and put it on the left side. When you square root 400, it will be 20 meters. And because this is an exact answer, it's not necessary to include the dotted equal sign. And here are your examples 1 and 2. Now I would like you to turn to page 26 and look at example 3. Example 3. Find how high a ladder will reach. Namala is planning to wash the windows on her house. She rests a 3-meter long ladder against the side of the house. The foot of the ladder is 1 meter from the house. How high up the house will the ladder reach? Round your answer to the nearest hundredth of a meter. In a work problem like this, you are encouraged to draw a diagram to represent this situation. So the original diagram has been drawn for you. It's more like a picture to demonstrate the situation. Let's turn this into a simpler diagram on the right hand side. Since we're dealing with a right angle triangle, it's a good idea to include the right angle triangle or right angle symbol at the bottom. And then we're going to label the sides. The ladder is 3 meters long, and the ladder is positioned 1 meter away from the foot of the wall. And how high up the house will reach means that we're looking for the height right here. Okay. In order to find the value of x, we know that now we're looking at a right triangle. Where do you see the hypotenuse in this triangle? I think you will agree that the 3 meters is the hypotenuse. As a result, our Pythagorean theorem can be set up as follows. 3 squared is equal to x squared plus 1 squared. And so we'll have 9 equals to x squared plus 1. To solve for x squared, we need to subtract 1 from both sides of the equation. So I have 8 equals to x squared. And just like the example we've seen already, in order to find x, we need to take the square root 8 of both sides. And if you work this out, x is the square root of 8, which is approximately 2.8 meters. Let's add the dotted equal sign to show that this is an approximated value. And since this is a word problem, we will have the therefore statement. Therefore, the ladder reaches a height of 2.8 meters up the wall. There we go. And here you go. So now let's continue to work on the practice questions. Today your job is to finish page 25 practice and also page 27 work problems. If you don't finish these questions, you will have a chance to work on them in the next lesson.